Kweku Anans sat high in his web, watching the world below. He saw the animals basking in the warmth of the sun, enjoying its golden glow. The lions stretched lazily in the grass, the birds sang cheerfully, and the rivers shimmered under the bright sky. Anans, however, was not pleased. "Why must I share the sun with these foolish creatures?" he muttered. "Why should they enjoy its warmth when I could have it all for myself?" He tapped his many legs against the branches, deep in thought. Then, a wicked idea formed in his mind. He would steal the sun and keep it for himself. Anans knew that stealing the sun would not be easy. It hung high in the sky, watched over by the gods and the spirits of the land. But Anans was clever. He had tricked the gods before, he could do it again. That night, as the village slept, Anans climbed to the tallest tree. He spun a silk thread so fine that it was invisible in the night. Carefully, he wove a giant web, each strand stronger than the ropes of the strongest hunters. His many legs moved quickly, spinning and twisting the threads until he had created a trap for the sun. As the first rays of dawn stretched across the sky, Anans was ready. He climbed higher and higher, his silk shimmering behind him. When he reached the clouds, he cast his invisible web across the sky, setting his trap. The sun, unaware of the danger, continued its usual path. But as it rose higher, it caught in Anans' web. The golden rays tangled in the sticky threads, and before the sun could escape, Anans yanked it down. The world below fell into darkness. The animals awoke in confusion. The birds, expecting morning light, found only endless night. The trees shivered in the sudden cold, their leaves curling inward. The rivers, once bright and clear, turned black and still. Anans grinned as he wrapped the sun in layers of silk, binding it tightly. He struggled to carry it. It was heavier than he had imagined, but after much effort, he dragged it into his secret cave, deep in the hills where no one would find it. The next morning, the animals gathered in confusion. The roosters, confused by the eternal night, crowed at nothing. The farmers held their torches high, but their dim flames could not replace the lost sun. Fear spread through the land. "Where is the sun?" the villagers whispered. "Who has taken its light?" The animals held a meeting. The lions roared, the elephants stomped their feet, and even the smallest insects buzzed in worry. The world was not meant to live in darkness. They had to find the sun before it was too late. Meanwhile, Anans sat inside his cave, basking in the stolen warmth. His silk walls reflected the golden light, making his hiding place glow like a secret treasure. He stretched his legs comfortably and sighed. "Now, whenever I want warmth, I will have it," he whispered to himself. "And no one else will ever feel it again." He chuckled, satisfied with his plan. But he had not considered one problem. Without the sun, the world was changing. The trees stopped growing, their roots frozen in the cold earth. The rivers, once flowing and full of fish, began to freeze over. The birds, too weak to fly, huddled in their nests, shivering. Anans realized something strange: there were no more creatures to trick. The animals were too weak to wander into his traps, too cold to chase after food. Even the villagers, usually so full of life, barely spoke. Anans frowned. He had won, he had taken the sun for himself, but now, there was no one left to admire his victory. What was the point of being the cleverest trickster if no one was around to witness it? For the first time, doubt crept into his heart. Had he tricked himself? Meanwhile, the animals refused to give up. They gathered their wisest members to discuss what to do. Ephia the tortoise, Ose the jackal, and even the mighty eagle, Naom's messenger, sat together in the clearing. The sun cannot sleep. Someone must have stolen it. But who? Ose asked, his ears twitching. Who would take something that belongs to all of us? You're the weaver, a small bird with sharp eyes, fluttered forward. "I saw something strange last night," he chirped. A thread of silk, leading toward the hills. The animals exchanged glances. There was only one creature known for spinning silk strong enough to catch something as great as the sun. "Kweku Anans," they shouted. Anans, hidden in his cave, heard their cries. His many legs trembled slightly. He had expected the animals to remain helpless, but now, they were coming for him. He had to think fast. Destroying the sun was not an option; without it, even he would freeze. Running away was impossible; the world was too dark to escape unnoticed. Then, a new plan formed in his mind. If he could return the sun without being caught, he could trick everyone into believing he had saved it. Instead of being a thief, he would be hailed as a hero. The animals followed Yo's directions and reached the hills. Efua the tortoise, Ose the jackal, and Naam's mighty eagle searched the land. They saw footprints, spider footprints. They found strands of silk, glistening faintly in the torchlight. The signs led them straight to Anan's cave. Inside, Anans worked quickly. He spun a new web, tying it around the sun. He had to be careful; if he moved too fast, he might damage the light forever. Sweat dripped from his brow as he hoisted the sun upward, inch by inch. Outside the cave, the animals hesitated. "Anan's tricks are dangerous," Ose warned. "We must be cautious." But Efua, ever wise, simply said, "We must act quickly. The world cannot survive without the sun." They stepped forward together. At that very moment, a miracle happened. The first golden rays peeked over the horizon. The sky began to brighten as warmth returned to the land. The animals gasped. "The sun is back." The rivers shimmered, the trees stretched toward the sky, and the cold melted away. The world, once frozen in darkness, was alive again. The animals cheered. "The sun has returned." But Efua the tortoise narrowed her eyes. "Who brought it back?" Then, Anan stepped forward, smiling. "Why, my friends," Anan said smoothly, "do you not see? I have saved the sun. I found it trapped and freed it for all of you." The animals looked at one another, confused. Could it be true? Had Anans, the trickster, really saved the sun? Ose the jackal sniffed the air. "Then tell us, Anans, how did the sun get trapped in the first place?" Anan's smile faltered. He laughed nervously. Now, he had to lie his way out of his biggest trick yet. Anan's mind raced. He had to come up with a convincing answer, or the animals would figure out the truth. He chuckled nervously and waved a leg. "My dear friends," he said, "the sun must have been caught by accident. Perhaps it got tangled in a storm, or the spirits played a trick on us." Ose the jackal squinted at him. "And yet," he said, "we found silk threads leading straight to your cave." The animals murmured among themselves. Could Anans be lying? His words were smooth, but something didn't feel right. Efua the tortoise stepped forward. "Then tell us, Anans, if you saved the sun, why was it hidden inside your cave?" Anans forced a smile. "Oh, my wise friends, I had to keep it safe. The darkness was dangerous, and I wanted to make sure no harm came to it." The animals exchanged glances. The sun had never needed saving before. "We must search the cave," Efua said at last. "Perhaps there is proof of what really happened." Anan's many legs twitched. If they went inside, they might find the leftover silk strands, the marks where the sun had rested, or worse, the remains of his web trap. Thinking fast, Anan spun another web, this one a web of words. "Oh, my dear friends, why waste time searching my cave? Should we not celebrate that the sun has returned? Let us feast, let us dance." The younger animals, who were tired of the long darkness, cheered. But the elders were not so easily fooled. "We will search the cave," Efua repeated. With no other choice, Anan stepped aside. The animals entered cautiously, their eyes adjusting to the lingering glow. Ose sniffed the air, the weaver fluttered to the ceiling, and Efua moved slowly, her sharp eyes searching every corner. At first, nothing seemed unusual. But then you chirped loudly. "Look here." The animals gathered around. He had found something, a strand of golden silk, shimmering in the dim light. Ose lifted it and turned to announce. "This is your silk, is it not?" Announce gulped. He could not deny it. "Oh, well, you see, perhaps I brushed against the sun while trying to save it." "But look at the walls," Efua said. "There are scorch marks here, marks from when the sun was held captive." The truth was becoming clear. The animals murmured again, this time with anger. "You stole the sun," Efua said slowly. "You trapped it here, and when we started searching, you hurried to put it back." Anan's many legs trembled. His trick had worked, but only for a short time. Just then, a great voice thundered from the sky. "Kweku Anans," it called. "You have been caught in your own web of lies." The animals gasped and bowed. It was Niam, the sky god, ruler of all things. His voice echoed through the land, and the very air trembled with his power. Anans fell to the ground, his clever tongue suddenly useless. He had tricked many before, but he could not outwit the gods themselves. "Great Niam," he cried. "I only wanted to keep the sun safe." "Silence." Niam's voice boomed. "You thought only of yourself. Because of your greed, the world suffered." The animals waited in silence as Niam continued. "For this crime, you will never again be trusted," he declared. "Though you may still be clever, no one will ever believe your words." Anan's eyes widened. To a trickster, nothing was worse than losing trust. Anans pleaded, "Great Niam, I have learned my lesson. Spare me." Niam sighed. "Your punishment is just. From now on, whenever you tell a story, others will always wonder if it is true or another trick." The animals nodded in agreement. Anans had tricked them for years, this was fair. Niam's power swept through the land, and Anans felt the change. No matter what he said, the animals would never fully believe him again. "Take this as a lesson," Niam said. "And let all who hear this story know, greed and trickery always come with a price." With that, Niam vanished, leaving behind the warmth of the restored sun. The animals, relieved, celebrated its return. But Anans remained quiet. He had lost more than he expected. Days passed, and the world returned to normal. The trees bloomed again, the rivers flowed, and the animals rejoiced in the sunlight. But something was different. Anans was no longer feared, he was doubted. Before, animals would listen closely when Anans spoke, always curious about what new trick he would play. But now, when he spun a tale, they simply laughed. "Anans is lying again," they would say. "He only wants to trick us." Anans tried to convince them otherwise. "Let me tell you of the time I raced the wind," he said. "You mean the time you lied about racing the wind?" a young hare replied, smirking. Anan's legs twitched in frustration. Even when he spoke the truth, no one believed him. One day, he warned the villagers of a great storm, but they only laughed. "Anans is trying to fool us again." When the storm finally came, they realized he had been right, but still, no one trusted him. Anans knew that he could never steal the sun again. The gods were watching, the animals were watching, and worst of all, his tricks had lost their power. But he still had one thing left, his stories. Even if no one believed him, they still listened. They still gathered when he spoke, still laughed at his mischief, still whispered about his adventures. Anans smiled to himself. If he could not be feared, he would be remembered. And so, Anans did what he did best. He spun tales, of cleverness, of trickery, of wisdom and foolishness. Some were true, some were not, but all were entertaining. And as the years passed, his stories spread far and wide. Children whispered them by the fire, elders shared them with the young, and even the gods chuckled at his cleverness. Niam, watching from above, shook his head. Anans, you may have lost their trust, he said, but you have gained something else. You are now more than a trickster. You are the keeper of stories. And so, whenever a clever trick is played, someone smiles and says, that must be Anans' doing. And perhaps, he is listening to you right now. Anans sat alone in his web, staring at the rising sun. It still shone as brightly as before, but to him, it was different now. It was a reminder of his greatest trick and his greatest failure. For the first time, he felt what it was like to be outwitted. Not by another trickster, but by the truth itself. Days turned into weeks, and Anans stayed hidden in the shadows. He no longer boasted, no longer spun grand tales of his cunning. The animals still laughed at his stories, but it was no longer out of respect, it was because they could not take him seriously. Even when Anans spoke the truth, the animals doubted him. One evening, as the sun set, Anans heard a soft voice. It was Efwa the tortoise. Anans, she said, why do you hide? I have lost everything, he muttered. What is a trickster without trust? Efwa smiled knowingly. A trickster is still a trickster, she said. But now, you must learn a new trick. Anans sighed. And what trick is that? Efwa chuckled. The trick of wisdom. You can still be clever, but now, you must also be wise. Anans frowned. Wisdom. That sounds boring. Efwa shook her head. Wisdom is the greatest trick of all, she said. Because with wisdom, you can trick even fate itself. Anans did not understand at first. But he knew Efwa was really wrong. So he decided to listen. That night, Anans climbed to the highest branch of the baobab tree. He looked over the land, watching the animals return to their normal lives. Without him, there were no great tricks, no unexpected surprises. The world was predictable. And that, Anans realized, was his new opportunity. If they no longer fear me, he thought, then they will no longer suspect me. A slow smile spread across his face. If I cannot trick them openly, I will trick them in new ways. The next morning, Anans appeared in the village. I am done with trickery, he announced. From now on, I will be a helper to all. The animals laughed. You? A helper? Ose the jackal scoffed. Anans, we may not fear you anymore, but we are not fools. But it is true. Anans insisted. I have seen the error of my ways. Efwa the tortoise watched silently as the other animals mocked him. She knew Anans too well. He was up to something, but what? Anans smiled to himself. The animals believed they had outsmarted him. But he was about to prove them wrong. Over the next few days, Anans offered to help wherever he could. He gathered firewood, carried water, and even told stories without tricks. At first, the animals watched him suspiciously. But slowly, they began to trust him again. The trickster has changed, some said. Perhaps he has truly learned his lesson. Even Ose the jackal, always the skeptic, began to believe it. Anans worked harder than ever. He listened, he nodded, and he pretended to be the most honest creature in the village. But in secret, he was planning something much bigger than before. One day, Anans overheard the animals talking about Niam's golden fruit. It is hidden in the tallest tree, the weaver said. Only those truly worthy may taste it. Anans' eyes gleamed. Worthy, he whispered. Then it shall be mine. That night, Anans spun a new web, one unlike any before. It was woven with lies and half-truths, designed not to trap the sun, but to trap trust itself. If they think I am worthy, he thought, then I will take the golden fruit and become the greatest trickster once more. The next morning, Anans approached Efwa. "You are the wisest among us," he said. "Do you think I am worthy of the golden fruit?" Efua narrowed her eyes. "Why do you ask?" "I have changed," Anan said, bowing his head. "And I want to prove it. If I can reach the fruit, it will show that I am truly a new spider." Efua said nothing for a long time. Then, she nodded. "If the gods allow it, then so be it." The animals gathered as Anan climbed the tallest tree. They watched as he struggled, his legs trembling, his web swaying in the wind. "Is he truly changed?" they whispered. Anan reached the top and found the golden fruit glowing with Niam's power. It was more beautiful than he had imagined. But just as he reached for it, a voice spoke. "Anan," it said, "what will you do with this gift?" Anan froze. It was Niam. I will share it with all," he lied. Niam laughed. "Have you truly learned wisdom? Or is this just another trick?" Anan felt a strange weight in his chest. For the first time, he was not sure of himself. Was this truly just another trick? Or had he changed without realizing it? Niam's voice softened. "You have always been clever, Anan. But today, you must decide, will you be wise?" Anan hesitated. For the first time, he did something unexpected. He took the golden fruit and threw it down to the animals below. The animals gasped as the fruit split into many pieces. Each creature received a part, and its golden light spread across the land. Anan had not kept it for himself. He had shared it. Niam smiled. "At last," he said, "you have learned the greatest trick of all, selflessness." As the golden light spread across the land, the animals marveled at its warmth. The fruit had blessed each one of them, and for the first time in history, Anan had done something without trickery. Ose the jackal blinked in disbelief. Did Anan just give up his prize? Efua the tortoise nodded slowly. "It seems he has learned a lesson after all." You're the weaver, perched on a nearby branch, chirped, "Or maybe this is his greatest trick yet." The animals laughed, but this time, it was not out of mockery, it was out of respect. Anan, still perched high in the tree, felt something he had never felt before. It was not the thrill of outwitting his enemies or the satisfaction of a successful trick. It was something deeper. For the first time, the animals were laughing with him, not at him. He looked at his many legs, the silk in his hands, the world below him, and he understood. This was the greatest trick of all. Niam's voice echoed through the sky. "Anan, today you have done what I never expected. You have proven that even the most cunning can learn wisdom." Anan smiled, bowing his head in respect. "Perhaps I have, great Niam. Or perhaps this is just another trick." Niam chuckled. "If this is a trick, then it is one even I admire. And for this, I grant you a gift, not of power, but of legacy." Anan raised an eyebrow. "Legacy? You will not be remembered as just a thief of the sun," Niam said. "You will be known for your stories. For your wit, your cunning, your lessons wrapped in laughter." And just like that, Anan felt the change. From that moment, whenever Anan spoke, his words carried wisdom hidden within trickery. The animals listened, not because they feared him, but because they wanted to hear. And in return, Anan learned that sometimes, the best trick was the truth itself. Anan climbed down the great tree, greeted by the animals who no longer saw him as a villain. "Perhaps," Efua said, "you have finally found your true calling." Anan grinned. "Perhaps." The sun rose higher, its warmth touching every living thing. The world was bright again, but now, so was Anan's place within it. For though he was still a trickster, he was no longer just a thief. He was now something greater. Years passed, and Anan's tales spread across the land. He wove stories like he wove webs, intricately, beautifully, and with just the right amount of mischief. And the animals listened. Some stories were of cleverness, some of foolishness, and some of tricks gone wrong. But all carried a lesson, hidden like a spider in the shadows. And so, Announce became the keeper of stories. One day, a young hare approached him. "Announce, tell me a story." Announce smiled. "Oh, but which story should I tell? The one where I outwitted a leopard? Or the one where I tricked myself?" The hare's ears twitched. "You tricked yourself?" Announce laughed. "Oh yes, my little friend. Even the greatest trickster can be caught in his own web." And so, he began to weave another tale, his voice carrying across the land, reaching ears both young and old. Niam watched from above, pleased. Announce had taken his punishment and turned it into a gift. For even though the animals no longer feared him, they would never forget him. One evening, as the stars twinkled above, Announce sat alone, gazing at the moon. "The sun is no longer mine," he whispered. "But the stories, those will always be mine." And so, he continued spinning, not just webs, but stories. Some true, some false, but all worth listening to. Whenever the wind rustled the trees, carrying laughter across the land, it was said that Announce was telling another tale. And if you ever hear a story so clever that it makes you smile, then perhaps, just perhaps, Announce is listening to you, too. As generations passed, Announce's name became legend. Children whispered his tales by the fire, elders passed them down like treasures. And though he was long gone, his stories lived on. Some say Announce still roams the land, spinning tales in the shadows, hiding wisdom within his tricks. And if you listen closely at night, you might just hear the sound of a spider weaving a web, or a story. The sun rose once more, bathing the land in golden light. But now, there was another light, one that did not fade with nightfall. The light of stories, laughter, and lessons. And so, Announce the trickster, the thief of the sun, became Announce the storyteller. His name would never be forgotten. His tales would cross rivers, mountains, and generations. They would travel beyond the forest, beyond the skies, beyond time itself. And with every retelling, his tricks lived on. For as long as there were stories to be told, Announce would always be a part of them. Somewhere, in every whispered tale, in every clever laugh, in every lesson hidden within mischief, Announce remained. And so, my friend, the next time you hear a trick too clever to believe, ask yourself, could it be Announce doing? And if you ever find yourself tangled in a web of stories, remember, Announce is always watching.